Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us the ease in greeting other Muslims. This is something else that we have a problem with today. Greeting other Muslims. Let me explain something to everyone here. One of the signs of the last hour is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said one of the signs of the last hour is that the greeting of assalamu alaikum will disappear, to the point where the Muslims will never say it to each other anymore. And if there is a Muslim that says assalamu alaikum, the other Muslims will look at him like, what are you talking about? We don't talk like that anymore. Well, we can see this happening today because the greeting of assalamu alaikum is disappearing amongst us every day, and it's being replaced with other things, they're like Kuda Hafiz and Bardain, inshallah, and all these things that are not part of our greeting. So the greeting of assalamu alaikum and wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, this is something that we need to hold on to as Muslims. And today we're going to speak about the ease in it. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us in many authentic hadiths, the best Islam is to feed others and to greet those whom you know and those whom you do not know. And also the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, verily, when Allah created Adam, he said to him, go to those individuals from amongst the angels over there and give greetings of peace to them, and listen to how they answer you, because their answer to you will be your greeting, and it will be the greeting of all of your descendants. So Adam obeyed Allah. He went to the angels and he said, assalamu alaikum, which means may the peace of Allah be upon you. And they answered him back. They said, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, which means may the peace of Allah and his mercy be upon you too. So this is how our greeting originated. The greeting that we share with one another of assalamu alaikum and wa alaikum salam, this is the greeting of paradise. This is the greeting that originated from the angels. And this greeting means so much more than Kuda Hafiz. It means so much more than wa alaikum, and so much more than these other greetings that people are using today. Okay? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he encouraged us to spread the greeting of assalamu alaikum to all the believers on earth. In fact, the Prophet told the companions, if you did this, if we would use the greeting of assalamu alaikum, this is what will cause us to love one another. This will take away the hatred, the jealousy, the contempt that we have for each other. And also the Prophet said that you will not enter paradise. No one will enter paradise until they has complete faith. And you will never have complete faith until you love one another. You learn to love your brothers and sisters in Islam for the sake of Allah. So one of the best ways to develop love for your fellow brothers and sisters is the greeting of assalamu alaikum. And I'm going to tell you guys, this hadith is a hadith that I never truly appreciated and really understood this hadith until about 15 years ago. Around 15 years ago, when I moved to where I live right now, and there's not that many Muslims around who I know, I now appreciate this hadith because when I go to a grocery store, in fact, yesterday I went to Walmart and alhamdulillah, I saw this beautiful Muslim woman in her hijab, in her jilbab with her children and her husband rolling her cart through the store. I got so happy to see this beautiful Muslim woman dressed the way I was dressed, beautiful, looking like I look. She saw me, I saw her, she smiled, I smiled, and we both walked forward towards each other, and we grabbed each other's hand and shook it. I said, Assalamu alaikum. She said, Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah habibati. And then we just hugged. I didn't know her, she didn't know me. But it's like, and her husband was standing there with the kids, it was like, oh my God, such love. I don't even know this woman, but I had such love for her to see another Muslim woman. The love was there. And we shook the hands because shaking hands wipes away all the sins. And then she just pulled me in for a hug. And then we went on about our business. That was it. She went on back to her husband and kids, and I went on looking for my lean cuisine. Okay? So again, the greeting, this is what helps to spread love, guys. Our greeting of Assalamu alaikum and wa alaikum salam, not this other stuff, not hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon. Masalama. Masalama is not the greeting. Let me repeat, Masalama is not the greeting of Muslims. Masalama is the greeting of Kafir Arabs. That's how the non-Muslim Arabs greet each other. You got Arabs out there who are Christian. 30% of the Arabs are Christian, for those of you who don't know. Not all Arabs are Muslims. 30% of them are Christians. And that's how they greet. They don't say Assalamu alaikum. They say Masalama. So you're greeting me like a kafir. When you come to me and tell me Masalama, you have insulted me. You are giving me the greeting of a kafir. I'm a Muslim, dude. You tell me Assalamu alaikum. So here we see the Prophet encouraged us to spread the greeting. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in an authentic hadith that faith consists of three things. Number one, it consists of being just towards yourself. If you are just towards yourself, that means that you don't fall into sin. If you're living your life obeying Allah, doing the deeds that are pleasing to Him, then you are being just to yourself. And also, faith consists of giving and charity. If Allah has blessed you with money, blessed you with things, and you help others, you're eager to help others, this is a sign of faith. And finally, faith consists of giving the greetings of peace to the world. I didn't know that sister at Walmart. Never seen her before in my life. But mashallah, I gave her the greetings of peace and she gave them to me. This is a sign of faith, guys. To be able to greet those whom you know and those whom you don't know. Okay? Also, guys, the goodness in conveying the greeting is that we are conveying greetings of peace to one another. And when we give that greeting of peace to each other, it leads to humility. It makes us more humble with one another. It also makes us more compassionate for each other. And this is the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet would give greetings to any Muslim, even young boys. One day the Prophet passed by some young boys who were playing, and he gave them the greeting of Assalamu alaikum. And they said, Wa alaikum salam, O Prophet of Allah. Even the Prophet would even greet the women. We have the authentic hadith that the Prophet passed by a group of women and he waved his hand in greetings of peace. We have one of those women. She said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam happened to walk past us when we were sitting in a group talking. And he greeted us with Assalamu alaikum, my sisters, and raised his hand. Subhanallah. What a wonderful thing, guys. This is conveying, love for each other, respect for one another, and that unity that we have. And also, guys, that hadith there is the proof that there is nothing wrong with a man greeting a woman while she's in a group. A lot of Muslims would tell you, you can't greet another Muslim. You can't greet a woman. Oh, yes, you can. If there's women in a group, you can greet the whole group of women. We have another hadith, whereas once the companions were leaving from the Friday prayer, and they happened to walk past an old woman, and they gave her the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. And she gave them a pot. She had made a pot of soup. She went in and got some soup and shared with them too. Also, we have another hadith, whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the young person should give greetings of peace to the older person. And the person who is walking should give it to the one who is sitting, and the person who is riding should give it to the walker. And those who are few in number should greet those who are greater in number. And this all makes sense. If I'm sitting on a bench waiting for the bus to come, and you're driving by in your car, you may be intimidated to me. I may be intimidated by you. I don't know if you're going to get out that car and pull out a gun and want to rob me or what. So if you happen to pull up in your car and you see me sitting, you say, Assalamu alaikum, my sister. Oh, subhanallah, that puts me at ease. Oh, okay, there's no need for me to be intimidated. So then I can answer, wa alaikum salam, because you're in the position of power over me. Okay? So you can see how this makes sense, okay? The younger person. I'm an old woman walking down the street, and a gang, about 5 or 6 young teenagers are getting ready to walk past me. I can be intimidated by this crowd of teenagers. I'm old. They might want to rob me or mug me or rape me or something. So the young group, they say, Assalamu alaikum. Oh, wa alaikum salam. Thank you. You greeted me first. So now I feel at ease. Do you guys see? Do you guys see the hikmah, the wisdom in Islam? Also, guys, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and when 2 people are walking, whichever of them begins the greeting, the first is the best of them. So say, for example, I'm walking down the street and I happen, his sister Sarah's coming towards me. Whichever one of us gives salams first, we get the reward. So I'm going to say Assalamu alaikum first, I got the reward. You guys see that? The beauty of Islam. And by the way, let me point out again, you see this picture on the screen, this beautiful Muslim woman who looks like Sarah. She's drinking a frappuccino. Okay, this picture looks like she's using her left hand, but she's not. She's really drinking with her right hand. It looks like the left hand to you and me because that's how it is with a camera. I have to stress this because I don't want any Muslims out there slandering, saying that there's Muslims drinking and eating with their left hand when they're not. These are pictures. And whenever you use a camera, of course, her right is going to be my left and my left is going to be her right. So, intelligence. We have to be intelligent even when it comes to technology. Okay? So thus, guys, you see, Allah makes the rules, as a means of, protecting us. And there's wisdom in everything that He commands. Also, guys, when it comes to the greeting, it is also from the Sunnah of the Prophet to deliver the greeting of peace when he visited a people and to do so upon leaving them. So again, if I'm the first to enter, I should give salams. And when I leave, I should give salams. Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, when any of you sit, he should give the greeting of Assalamu alaikum. And when he stands up, he should do the same. And the first greeting is not a greater obligation than the second. In other words, it's you are more, if I give you the greeting of Assalamu alaikum, you are more obligated to answer me. A lot of times, guys, we go out in the public and we see other Muslims and we give them the greeting of Assalamu alaikum and they don't answer. Well, guess what? The sin is on them, because once a person greets you, you are obligated to respond. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if any of you meet your companion, he should greet him with the greetings of peace. And if a tree or a wall stands between you, then when you meet up and gain up with him, you should greet him with salutations of peace. In other words, whenever you see another Muslim, give him the greeting, Assalamu alaikum. And if a tree is standing between us and we come together, Assalamu alaikum. In other words, you don't have to yell it out. But if we come up, once we meet, then give the greeting. So again, the Prophet taught us, like I say, he taught us good manners. The Prophet taught us how to interact with each other, how to deal with each other, how to greet one another, how to be the best Muslims we can be. And also, guys, it is from the Sunnah or the guidance of the Prophet that when you enter the mosque, you greet the people there too. The person who entered the mosque should first make 2 rakats before sitting. And then after you're done with those 2 rakats, then you can greet the other people who are there with Assalamu alaikum. And even when you enter your home, guys, if you have people living there, you should give your family the greeting, letting them know that you're home. When the Prophet would enter the home of his family at night, he would say, Assalamu alaikum, in a manner which did not awaken a sleeper, but could be heard by whoever was awake. A lot of Muslims are so ignorant, they think that this hadith means that we're supposed to greet an empty home. No, when you enter the home, you should say Bismillah, because this is what keeps the shaitan from entering. But once you get inside the house, if you have family there, then tell them Assalamu alaikum, so they'll know that you're home, so they won't come with a shotgun trying to shoot you. But if you live by yourself, you don't say Assalamu alaikum. And people say, oh, I'm greeting the angels. Who told you there's angels there? How do you know there's angels in your house? They're part of the unseen world. No, you say Bismillah when you enter, before entering. And if your family is there, then you give them the greeting. In fact, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if your family is there, you should give them the greeting before you even say anything else. So the first thing I'm going to say when I come in the house to let my wife, my children know I'm home is Assalamu alaikum. And then I'll come in and ask them, how was your day? Ibn Umar told us, the greetings of Assalamu alaikum should be given even before you ask a question. So when you enter the home, you let them know you're home with Assalamu alaikum. And by the way, guys, Ibn Umar also said, whoever comes to you and asks you a question, and when you enter the house, before giving the greeting, then don't answer them. That's how the Prophet was. When the Prophet would come home, he'd say, Assalamu alaikum. If the children would come and say, Daddy, 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 guess what happened? He wouldn't answer them. He would wait until they returned the greeting, then he'd answer them and ask them how was their day. And also, guys, the Prophet taught us that when we respond to the greeting, not only do we say wa alaikum salam, but we also say wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, which means may Allah's mercy and blessings be on you. So not only do we say assalamu alaikum, but if you want, you can add wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. You don't have to. But you can say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, because you're making the greeting even stronger, because you're also saying not only may Allah have peace upon you, but also may Allah bless you with his mercy. And also, guys, the Prophet would give the greeting 3 times. He would come home, he'd say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Okay, so again, you can do the greeting 3 times if you want. And also, finally, guys, the Prophet would do his best to be the first to give the greeting to the people he met. And if anyone greeted him, he would immediately respond to him with the same greeting or better, unless there was a reason for not doing it, such as he was using the bathroom. So thus, guys, we learn, again, the ease of our way of life, the easiness in being a Muslim. The greeting of Assalamu alaikum and wa alaikum salam. This is a greeting that originated from paradise. This was the greeting of the angels to Adam. So our greeting is sacred. It's better than good morning. It's better than have a good day. It's better than what's up, what's happening. And it's becoming something lost today. We need to cling to our greeting. This greeting gives peace, brings peace to us. It instills love between us. It helps to perfect the brotherhood that we're supposed to have as Muslims. So we need to get back in the habit of greeting one another with us.